Hey guys, how's it going? Just doing a little bit of rock preparation actually right now, and I thought I'd make this tutorial really comprehensive and show you how I go from even the rocks that I pick up to right to the bocage stage. So right now what I got is just set the sink. I just got a container. Just use an old container, something that you don't want to use for food or get scratched up or anything like that. What I do is have these stones, basically where I get them from, it's called P stones, so it's, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's just sort of pea-sized gravel, all different colors, shapes, cuts. It comes in big bags. It's really cheap. What I like about it is it's already got it's a stone that you don't need to paint to look like a stone, and it's got some nice variation, and the grain size on it actually works at this scale, so as opposed to if you grab a big rock outside, you got to kind of change the scale so it looks good. But this stuff here is already we got a really fine grain, so it actually looks good at scale. So picking it up, obviously it's dirty. It's got a lot of dust on it, and when you start mixing that with the glue, what can happen is the dust itself can discolor your glue, and the glue I kind of use as a glaze, and it dries clear, so if it gets tinted, then you lose that clear, and then everything starts looking kind of gray or washed out. So first thing I do is wash them up. So I'm going to do a bit of washing just as I ramble, so it might be a little noisy here for a second. Alright, just bear with me. Pour on a bit of water. Now what I do is I basically just fill the container sort of half up with rock, and then half with water, and I work down in the sink. Basically what you want to do is, hopefully it's not too loud, but you kind of want to sift through washing the rock, and you'll notice something here in a second when I take the rock and show you if I can do this properly. Hopefully on camera you can see this, maybe you can, maybe you can't. There's all kinds of colors. There's reds, and there's different conglomerations of white and a lot of grays. You get really cool looking stones like that. Individually these are going to look neat, but together they look even better. So I'm not sure if you can see that with my hand angle, but now they look a lot different than this previous sort of gray dusty look. So basically it's just a long repeating process of shifting them. You want to make sure, it's almost like if you've ever sifted for gold. It's kind of just like that actually. You're basically weeding out the ones you don't want. I use my fingers kind of as a strainer. You can use an actual strainer. What I find is the really fine stuff just plugs up the holes no matter how fine you get. And if you get too coarse of a strainer, then there's almost no point in using it at all. So I just use my fingers sort of as a sifter. And what you're going to be left with at the bottom is going to be all the silt and really fine stones. Now I don't use those for anything because the silt is basically what you're trying to get rid of anyways. It's just kind of mud. And the fine stones, anything that I get with my fingers actually, you can get some really fine stuff. Like I'll hold my hand up and you can see got a lot of fine stones stuck to that. Once that dries, it'll be the stuff that works its way to the bottom after you start grabbing this out. I use that to make like little pathways, or sort of not the finest stuff and not the stuff I use for the bocage, but the other stuff works great for the rock walls that I put together. And I'm obviously going to have to do a rock wall on there unless I go concrete, but I'll try to show you, even if I don't use a rock wall, how to make one in this tutorial, just so you can kind of see what to do. So of course you can buy all this stuff, Woodland Scenic Express, and I'm really bad. I buy pretty much everything material wise, but I haven't found any stone that I can get this type of variation with unless I buy about 15 different colors, and then it's just not practical for the customer. Nobody wants to pay that much, so I really like using this stuff. I've been using this since the beginning, and I'll probably keep using it as long as I can get it. So as long as there's basically a landscaping store around, I can get it, and I even get it shipped up to me. I actually got 74 pounds of rock shipped up to my house here to use, so that's and I'm willing to pay the shipping on that, which is astronomical, just because this is pretty much the best stuff you can get, in my opinion, to use for this sort of stuff. So wasn't much of a tutorial, didn't really show you anything, but I kind of gave you a little bit of background on where the stone's coming from, and I figured if I'm going to go all the way on the tutorial, I might as well show you the stuff that's not so fun to do, and show you that it is really quick. Like I did this video and then probably about this, I don't know, whatever it is, 4 or 5 minutes worth of cleaning before, and I'll just show you my end results. I basically, I got a whole tray done up here now. This is not very thick. What I do too is I put it on a cookie sheet and I put paper towel to absorb it, and what I do is I stick it out in the sun and it dries up, and it's good to go. This is let me just sort of get rid of this water. I turn this drain thing upside down too, just so I don't get I don't plug up my own drain with rock and sludge. But so I am left a bit of rock in the bottom, but you can kind of see how this rock sort of moves really. You can obviously that should be moving a lot quicker, but it's got a lot of sludge in it, so that's the stuff you don't want. So that's it for the tutorial. I do have some more work on the board. It's just drying right now, so I can't really show you anything, but I'll get another one up tonight, and then I'll start laying some rock either today or tomorrow. So stay tuned. Cheers.